Margaret Koolman here at soulastrology.com. I find Scorpio a wonderful sign. It's about the depths of our experience, as I understand it. The depths of our feelings, our emotions, passions. It goes so deep. Much of it, for most people, will be in their unconscious. So the new moon in Scorpio suggests a time of the year when we all access deeper layers than we're used to. Beautifully, this new moon connects well, smoothly, to Neptune and Chiron, who've been working away together for the last couple of years, shifting us between Aquarius and Pisces, to and fro, perhaps healing old wounds around trust and faith, putting us in touch perhaps with the possibility of healing the unhealable wound through connecting with the spirit of all things. After all, the unhealable wound in its core is possibly about the separation that we feel from the oneness, the only place of true joy, peace. So maybe this month will bring us all more into contact with that place inside us where we feel alone, offering us the chance to appreciate how we all have that place and feel through that shared experience a togetherness. There's a lovely sextile to Pluto, that green line, and Pluto very much in cahoots with Jupiter, suggesting the readiness of the Earth to go through the motions of transformation, the necessary changes that allow for transformation, clearing the decks, which looks to our short-termed eyes like destruction. But with these sextiles and trines linking to the new moon, it's a time where we can feel in our depth comfortable with the notion of change that goes so deep, huge change, without that we go to our depths, without that we allow for the destruction of the old. We can scarcely expect to be conscious when the new bright solutions come into effect. All this is background, I feel, to Mercury and Venus very close together in Scorpio, having a bit of a struggle with the Mars. Venus square Mars, the feminine and the masculine at odds. The feminine in all of us is about our relationship, and Mercury so close to it suggests that we will be relating through our communication, not just head stuff. It's going to be the truth of our emotions welling up from below because of the love that we feel or the love that we need. And the struggle with Mars, I think we have to take the connection to Saturn into account. It's so exact, that sextile. As though the masculine, which is the energy we do things with, the energy of action, in this case about the oughts and shoulds of relationship, with Saturn being in Libra, and a sense of rightness, and Mars in Leo, identity, the rightness of our identity, and holding to what we think is right, and never mind how everybody else feels about that. Venus in the depths of Scorpio is very vulnerable. So this tendency perhaps to make light of difficulties is likely to have us feeling misunderstood and not cared for. And that's where the communication will be coming from. And yet they have to work together. The masculine and feminine inside us has to work together. So I think the way to bring them together is to use the warmth and light-heartedness and positivity of Leo in the actions. Connecting to Saturn, any actions are likely to be successful. Perhaps there is a bit more caution in actually putting forward or following through our ideas of what we think is right. And the caution is always a good idea. And to use this warmth and positivity to connect to that open-hearted quality that draws other people out, that allows people to express the pain of where they feel without being judged. Leo is a warm heart, an open heart, not just a powerful identity. So it could be a time, and you may have noticed it already, where patience and gentleness and respectfulness are really called for in the relationships you have with those closest to you. This is not just about acquaintances. This is about deep, close friendships and family. It's definitely not about shallow communication. It doesn't take many days, in fact by the 2nd of November, that Mercury and Venus will, still together, go into Sagittarius. So things lighten up somewhat, but it's still not shallow. Sagittarius wants to know the reasons for things, searches for meaning, doesn't want to waste time with things that are just passing. When Mars reaches Virgo in the 11th of November, I think that Venus and Mercury will be all about searching for the solutions to our problems. So perhaps this time before the 11th of November is for us to air what those problems actually are, to get things out in the open, so that with Mars moving into Virgo, we know what we're facing. And I think the will to help the situation, the will to put some work in, will be there. And of course the important thing at that point is not to hang about too much trying to get things perfect, not to criticise our efforts, to take things carefully, gently, piece at a time. That movement into Virgo towards the middle of November has Mercury quincunxing Uranus, so there may well be a lot of activity towards freedom of expression, hopefully helpful actions, and not just finding fault with the way things are, which is entirely possible. So by the middle of November, Mars will make a beautiful triangle with Pluto and Jupiter, which could be about putting solutions into effect, although at the same time Mercury and Venus, still together, will be on the North Node in Sagittarius, aiming for our ideals, speaking about what we would ideally like to have, and the energy perhaps to start on that road. We can start on that road at any time, and we have been starting on that road over and over. This is another moment when forward movement can be made. Mercury will, however, be going retrograde in Sagittarius, and so it's spending a lot more time there than in most signs. It doesn't actually reach Capricorn, where our communications are going to be a bit more grounded, until the 8th of January. So exploration would seem to be the keynote for most of November and the whole of December. Most importantly, I feel that this month is about being gentle in our relationships, gentle with ourselves, with our emotional reactions, being prepared to discover that we actually feel differently from how we thought we did. And also being prepared to take those nuggets of truth out of the pain of being criticised and incorporate them. contemplation follows. Breathe in the present moment. Breathe out the past. Breathe in the present moment. Breathe out the past. Continue breathing until peace arises. This is your throne, standing on the earth unmoved by the planetary turning and turning towards tomorrow. Breathe in the earth beneath you. Breathe out the stars. Breathe in the earth beneath you. Breathe out the stars. Continue until you are vast as the universe. This is your resting place, where each problem arises together with its now obvious solution. Breathe in the love that surrounds you. Breathe out the love you feel. Breathe in the love that surrounds you. Breathe out the love you feel. Continue until your tears need neither your sorrow nor joy, so they water the roots of your relationships with pearly drops of caring. And just be gratefully.